Hello everyone and welcome. So in today's video, we're going to be looking at what timeline did you just shift into. So I just felt a major timeline shift occur just over the past few days, and it's been quite a significant one. And I just felt, really clearly Spirit wants to talk about this. So what timeline did you just shift to? And we're going to see what messages need to come through for you today. So go ahead and choose which card you feel most drawn to, and then I'll see you for your reading. Hello group 1, so you chose first house arrival, and instantly I'm being drawn to the world on this card. So this new timeline might be taking you across the world in some way or across the country. There might be some kind of movement or travel associated with this new timeline, but you have arrived. That's what I'm hearing. You have arrived at this new timeline. I feel like this arrival is something that you've been working towards for quite some time, or it marks some kind of achievement or a job well done. So I feel like, there's been something that might have been more challenging, something that you might have felt a bit stuck with, but this feels like a breakthrough. Something that was once holding you back, you've overcome it and you're moving up a level, you're moving up, you're ascending with this. And I'm just really being shown the flowers on the horns here. It's very beautiful. Feels like a crown. So your crown chakra is really definitely being activated through this new timeline. I'm also seeing that you actually have a new spirit guide with you for this timeline. I'm seeing a very brand new spirit guide that has just arrived to be with you for this timeline, to help you with this timeline. Something about you need their help because the conditions are different. There's something about this new timeline where the conditions are really different. There's something really different about this timeline. The conditions of this timeline are completely different, which means that you are needing different support. You're very much going to notice this timeline shift. It's not going to be kind of one that might blend in. You're really going to notice it and take note of it and recognize it as being different around you. I'm also being shown that you might be with this globe, you might be drawn, called out more, to share your work with the world in this new timeline. There might be a sense of maybe expansion through social media presence or something like this, because I'm seeing the worldwide, connection, around us, the sense of the internet also mirroring our psychic connections that we have through the collective consciousness. So I'm seeing something like this where you're working with the collective consciousness, but you might be doing that through the internet or some kind of an online offering, an offering that's through technology or online in some way, accessing people through that in a way where you can access so many more people kind of thing. So I'm seeing you accessing lots of people. I'm seeing crowds and crowds of people, but they're online. They're represented as numbers online. But if you put them all into a room, it would be crowds and crowds and crowds. So I'm seeing you reaching, maybe hundreds and thousands of people. I'm seeing a lot of expansion here. Yeah, there's something here about you arriving more into the world, putting yourself out there more into the world, putting your work out there more into the world, being seen more in the world. And maybe for those of you who are already out there somehow with your work or on the public stage or in the internet or something, then I'm just seeing you getting to a new level with your business or with your work, getting to a new level and moving up a level. I'm also seeing on this new timeline, I'm seeing new friends coming in, maybe one, maybe more than one. And I think that they also might be from a different place. They might be from a different part of the world. This could be international friends. This could be you meet them when you're not in your hometown, or if they're traveling. Something about traveling or relocating is going to allow you to meet new people, or you're going to meet someone who's traveling, and they're going to bring this very different energy from across the world. That's part of the reason I think you're going to be drawn to these friends, is because you have these very different cultures, or you have these different histories that you're really fascinated about by each other. So I'm seeing new friends finding their way to you. Let's pull some cards for you. We have the cat, independence and healthy boundaries. So this new timeline could involve a cat, a dragon. It could involve a cat and a dragon. This new timeline could involve a pet. It could involve reuniting with a pet, or having a pet come into your life, or I don't know, it could be something to do with a pet involved in this new timeline. But it's very interesting, the dragon. I'm feeling this a very powerful, strong energy. I feel like with this dragon, it's showing me that you've left something behind, or you've had to leave something painful behind. You've been I don't know, it could be like leaving a location behind with the World card. It could even be that, but it could be leaving, you know, a toxic relationship or a workplace. There's something that you're drawing a line under it and you're not going back there. And you're kind of, you've found your power. Some amount of your power was not available to you before, and now it is. You've reclaimed your power in some way. And I feel like you are going to be feeling it in this timeline. Like a part of your power was not available to you before, and now it is. And it's because you overcame some kind of a blind spot and you saw through something, and you were able to kind of walk away or move away from something that was holding you back or toxic or draining your life force or something like this, something that you weren't seeing clearly for a while. And it's been resolved now in this new timeline. You get to experience what it's like having this be resolved, where now you have this power come back to you. You have a part of your soul kind of reclaimed. It's come back to you again. I'm hearing it's come back to you. So it's like there was a piece of your power that was being held outside of you, away from you, in this toxic relationship or in this dynamic that you were in with somebody, or in this toxic workplace or something like this, something that was taking your power away. It was literally, I'm being shown energetically that it was holding a piece of your power outside of you. And you have just done something that has reclaimed your power. Like there's something that has shifted you into this new timeline where now you actually have your power again. So you had to do something to get this, to reclaim it with the dragon. The dragon's about courage and strength and kind of owning our power, kind of being kind of fierce. It's a fire elemental spirit, so it works with the energy of fire. So I feel there's like this ferocity almost where I feel you're protecting yourself, you're looking after yourself, you're putting yourself first with the first house. And this is what has activated this new timeline for you. And for a couple of you people, like some of you who are watching, you might be hearing this and thinking, oh, I really have to take action. Like you might not have taken action yet. And once you take action, it's going to activate this new timeline. If you're feeling like this timeline hasn't come in for you yet, it's because there's an action that still has to be taken, where you're meant to set yourself free and like walk away or move away from something toxic in order to claim your power. Because whilst that dynamic is continuing with a person, place, or thing, insert whatever it might be, whilst this dynamic is continuing, your power is being held outside of you. But once you end this dynamic and you say, this dynamic, I'm no longer okay with this or whatever, then you reclaim your power and you reclaim your sovereignty, and you're going to reclaim your life force. Because this dynamic ultimately was draining you. It was draining you very, very deeply. So yes, with the cat and the dragon, like this new timeline is being initiated through setting a boundary of some kind, because some kind of dynamic that you're in with a person, with a job, with a place, with a thing, some kind of a dynamic that you're in cannot come with you to this new timeline. It's not a vibrational match. And there might be quite a few things that can't come with you to this new timeline, actually, because there is this power existing in this new timeline. The way that I'm reading it is that the timeline's already here, but I do feel a couple of people's energies that might still be like watching this reading and feeling like the timeline hasn't fully clicked yet. So Spirit's saying that's okay, but there is the advice to take action, and that will basically initiate the timeline. It will start it, because what is holding it back is the lack of boundaries. Something has to be put to rest or ended. Some kind of boundary has to be put into place so that you can activate this new energy, this new timeline. Because like I said, there's something that you cannot bring with you to this new timeline. It's not a vibrational match. And Spirit is asking you to use your power with the dragon and the cat. Independence, healthy boundaries, power and strength. Like this might be a boundary that takes a lot of strength, or it might just be one that you didn't see for some time, because sometimes we can wake up to dynamics kind of quite suddenly and we can see it differently, and we can see something that we were for some reason had a blind spot about. And usually when that happens, there's a lot of emotions that come up, and we might feel anger or something at the fact that we were letting ourselves be taken advantage of. This is what I'm feeling, is that you kind of need to get angry about this. Let yourself be angry about this, because something has been taking advantage of your energy. Something has been in an imbalance where you have been being drained by this dynamic. So you need to take your power back and stop this energy drain so that you can up level and move to the next timeline, move to this new timeline. Many of you are already here and you've already done this and you're already alchemizing this. So there's kind of a mix. So yeah, so on this new timeline, I'm seeing you a lot more in touch with your strength and your power and feeling okay to set boundaries as necessary, you know, to kind of maintain this sense of power. Because sometimes, like I said, there are blind spots that come in where we don't realize that we're entering into a dynamic with somebody or in a workplace or with a boss or with somebody, whoever it might be, who plays that role. We don't realize we're entering into this dynamic that turns out to be really unhealthy or toxic or one-sided or draining. But I'm just seeing you being way more aware of anything that might have previously been in your blind spot. Like I'm seeing you being hyper aware of this and actually maintaining really healthy boundaries in this new timeline from a place of power and strength, and kind of not being afraid to be independent and also to stand up for yourself or to speak the truth or to end something. Like I'm just seeing you really putting yourself first, but in a really healthy way and in a way that for some reason wasn't as available to you in other timelines that you've lived through. So I just realized this was on the back of the deck because I was just kind of like holding this deck. I just realized that the wasp, anger, retaliation, and jealousy is on the back of the deck. So putting up this boundary, showing people this dragon side of you, it might create a little bit of anger, retaliation, and jealousy, because I feel like this is a dynamic that you previously were allowing, and now for some reason it's like you're waking up to it and you're realizing I can't do this anymore. So there might have been people or one person who really benefited from you being in this dynamic where you are overgiving, and there might be some anger, retaliation, or jealousy when you do put this boundary up, but Spirit's saying that's not a reason not to do it, kind of thing. It's more of a reason, if anything, because this is their true energy. This is what's really going on here. So you do kind of need to protect yourself with the wasp. That's what I'm getting, is Spirit saying protect yourself, like kind of embrace your inner dragon energy and protect yourself from this wasp. You can overcome it. Like the wasp is no match for the dragon. And that's what Spirit also wants you to know. Like, you are a dragon. You are so powerful. Any kind of thing that you might be coming up against, this wasp energy from the outside world, is really no match to you, the dragon. So you really don't have to fear it. And it's certainly, don't let it, keep you playing small or keep you kind of tolerating discomfort. Because yeah, something here, you take your power back and then you up level in a major way. And so yeah, it's worth confronting whatever this kind of wasp energy might come up from others. But I don't see that, I don't see it really going far. Look, the dragon versus the wasp, like Spirit really wants you to know, like, you are victorious in this situation. You are victorious. Okay, so what else can you look forward to on this new timeline? Let's pull some tarot cards for you. The Page of Swords. The Fool. Ooh, the Eight of Pentacles. And the Empress. Okay, let me just adjust these so you can see them all. Okay, so with the Fool and the Page of Swords here, this new beginning, this new timeline has a lot more surprises than you realize awaiting you there. Like, I'm seeing a lot of surprises and differences and shocking kind of things coming in, but in a positive way. Like, I feel like you are really used to things not changing. That's the energy that I'm getting. So when they actually do, it's just going to be this endless surprise. Spirit showing me just your jaw dropping, where you're just constantly just continuously feeling surprised and kind of shocked at the way that things keep changing or updating themselves. Like, I'm really seeing a full system upgrade kind of energy here. So I'm seeing change. The Fool brings complete change, total change, kind of full life glow up change is what I'm getting. So I'm seeing a full spectrum of change rather than maybe a life area. But specifically though, I do feel with the Eight of Pentacles and the Empress, this could be very much to do with money and finance. Like, I see this new timeline, I see you making a lot more money and making it a lot more effortlessly. And it's because you've had a change to do with your self-worth and therefore your ability to receive abundance. Because, like I said, you were stuck in a dynamic where you were overgiving. This was undermining your ability to make money and kind of preventing you from being the most abundant version of yourself. With the Empress, you're now realizing your true worth and embodying your true worth. You're embodying way more of your self-worth than you ever have. Like, I feel like this new timeline is your best for your self-worth in your whole life. Like, you're going to be feeling so much love, self-respect, and self-worth, way more than you ever have. And like I said, it comes from like protecting yourself in a way from toxic situations. Like, in a way, I think the reason that we might stay in toxic situations is because we don't think that we deserve any better. You know, there can be this deep kind of self-worth block, which is why we might have blind spots to things. So I'm seeing that this was a factor in this previous timeline's energy where you were, not valuing yourself enough and allowing maybe others to devalue you, or like I said, it wasn't reciprocal. Whatever dynamic you were in with whoever it was or whatever it was, if it was a workplace, it was not reciprocal and you weren't being awarded enough for your efforts, such as like you might not have been paid enough at your workplace, but you deserve so much more, Spirit's saying. So I'm seeing this new timeline is like more of a reflection of your worth, and you're going to be feeling that, and you're going to be feeling abundant. You're going to be feeling like your hard work is actually paid off monetarily, and that's going to feel very abundant because I just feel with the Eight of Pentacles and the Empress, it's like, you're going to be really well paid for what you do, and that's going to feel really good and also feel really empowering. And it's literally coming from this place of setting boundaries with toxic situations or toxic dynamics in your life. So I'm also seeing with this Eight of Pentacles and the Empress that you're going to be feeling very inspired in this new timeline. You're going to be wanting to work a lot on your own project or on some kind of art form. The Eight of Pentacles is kind of like about mastery. Like, what do we master in our lifetime? What are the skills, gifts that we are going to master in our life? And it takes a lot of time with the Eight of Pentacles. We have to work on things kind of every single day in a way. But usually it's the thing that we most want to work on. We have to have kind of everlasting passion for our Eight of Pentacles. So I feel like this is your life's work. This is your life's work, like some new surge of inspiration to do with your life's work. And that's going to be also making you feel really good, feeling really abundant because you're in touch with that abundant sense of creativity. I feel you could have so many ideas that you can't fit them all into a life. That's what it's going to feel like. You're going to feel like you have so many ideas. How can you possibly act on all of them? Because you just have so many ideas. Like, how is it possible to even fit them all into your life? So I do see maybe busyness actually in this timeline. I see a busy life, a full life, a scheduled life. And this is again why you just cannot have things that are energy draining you or dynamics that are full of drama or that are one-sided or that are based in your toxic kind of trauma history or something like this. It's just not a match to this timeline because you're going to be booked and busy. I see you being really having to be on top of your everyday routine with the Eight of Pentacles, having to be like, okay, I need to get enough sleep because I got to get up early for this job, for this interview, for this, whatever it might be. There's something about your time going to be demanding. Your people will demand your time, and it's because you're seen in your expertise in some way. They want your expertise, they want your skills, they want your mastery, they want the craft that you have mastered. Like, you've come into some new level of mastery with the Eight of Pentacles and the Empress, like, and you're going to be feeling it, you're going to be knowing it. Other people are going to be telling you and you're going to be agreeing. Like, there's something where you're going to feel, oh, I've really leveled up with this thing, or I've really if you're a musician, it's like, this album I'm working on is my best yet. Like, you're going to really feel something about it is different. Or if you're, I don't know, a channeler of some kind, it's like all of a sudden you have access to high vibrational channelings and you really feel like, oh, my channeling has up leveled somehow. And it's because you've worked on this. You've been working on something day in, day out. And it's because it's your life's work, because you want to work on it, but it's paying off basically. And I'm seeing, that this new timeline, like, you really can't have things that are draining you or taking up heaps of your time in a toxic, negative way, because you are really going to be needing to use all of your time to move forwards and to move ahead, because you're going places in a really positive way. And this is again why I was feeling like you have a new spirit guide with you, because the conditions are very new, the conditions are very different, and Spirit really wants you to know that with the Fool as well. It's like the conditions are a lot more new than you are even anticipating. You might be like, yeah, I'm going into a new timeline, I get it, but it's like, Spirit's like, I don't think you do get it though, because things are actually really different. And if you really could understand that at like a cellular level, I think you would be feeling a lot more energized by this activation. So I feel like there might be a sense with this new timeline that it takes a while to dawn on you that it's there. It takes a while to dawn on you. There's a transition period, Spirit saying, there's almost like a moment where it dawns on you and you're like, wait, I feel like I just woke up in a different reality. And then you realize that it was kind of slowly creeping in for some time. But you had this projection from the past where you just assumed that things would continue being the way it is, the way it is, the way it is. So there's kind of this like hangover period of this past timeline. And then you kind of wake up from that hangover and you feel fresh and you're like, oh yeah, I'm in a new timeline. So it's going to kind of endlessly surprise you the direction that this new timeline takes you. I mean, obviously there are some things that are similar, continuing as in your work and things you've been working on. I feel a continuation of this, but I do feel surprises and sort of shocking revelations even. So I'm also seeing you making money on this new timeline in a far more effortless way. Like you might be able to work a few less hours or feel like you're having to grind a lot less, or something about the work that's already existing is going to feel more enjoyable. Something about it will shift, some dynamic, like I said, that you were in is shifting. And you're just going to be valuing yourself so much. And it's interesting because I'm seeing in this new timeline, one of the things you're going to be quite shocked about is how other people treat you so differently once you have this internal thing resolved within you. Like you're going to realize that the thing that you just resolved inside of you about your self-worth and like reclaiming your power, setting some kind of boundary, ending some kind of toxic dynamic, you're going to realize that by healing that, you also change the way that other people show up in your life and the way that other people treat you. It's like by saying that you no longer tolerate being treated in a certain way, the whole world is going to respond to you and treat you in a different way. And you're going to feel kind of like an alchemist or a magician in the way that you just shifted realities. And you're going to feel like you did shift timelines in this way where you're respecting yourself more, you're loving yourself more, you're valuing yourself more. And all of a sudden other people are doing this and responding to you and mirroring this to you. And you're going to feel like, whoa. You're going to really feel this sense of as within, so without. And you're going to have this tangible shift where you can see how your inner blocks were being mirrored to you outside of yourself through different dynamics or relationships or things that you were attracting or things you were allowing even to happen. And then once you no longer allow that, once you take your power back, the world in turn also changes, and the way that you are mirrored, the world around you also changes. And that's going to be really trippy for you. You're going to like that. It's going to give you a lot of wisdom. And I think you're even going to I'm seeing you explaining this to people. You're going to explain it to friends or to family, to whoever will listen to you, whoever will understand you. You're going to be like, do you know how things work? Oh my gosh. And you're going to try and kind of teach your wisdom. Okay, so we're going to pull one from this Moonology deck about just advice. Spirit, what's your advice to group 1 for this new timeline? We have, don't let pride get in your way. So there's something coming up here about being afraid of how you're going to be seen. Maybe you have to, like I said, the wasp is on the back of the deck still sitting here. It's like maybe you have to make a decision that feels kind of scary, or I don't know if this is going to fit anywhere. Maybe it's like a decision you have to make that feels scary, and there might be a sense of people are going to retaliate or be jealous or angry or something like that, or not understand or question or shame you or something. But with the Leo energy and then the first house energy, it's something about being seen, like the way that you're going to be perceived is making you feel afraid. Like that's why it's don't let pride get in your way. Like Spirit's saying that sometimes we have to make decisions even if other people don't technically understand, because it's still in the highest good for all. And so Spirit's saying to basically trust in your inner guidance, in the way that you are guided to act, and trust that powerful feeling, because I feel like when you're in touch with this dragon energy, you feel that power, you feel that sense of, I know what I need to do, I know the actions that I need to take. And Spirit's saying trust that powerful feeling. And then sometimes you might have this kind of wobbling feeling, or this backlash of feeling shame or feeling embarrassed, like, oh my God, I can't believe I did it, or worrying about people's reaction or perception or something. But Spirit's saying, like, it's really, this decision is between you and Spirit. It's between you and your higher self. It's between you and you. So really see it like that, and try to not let kind of the way that you're going to be perceived externally dictate this decision, is what I'm getting. Don't let the power, like, don't let pride get in your way. What I'm feeling from this card is, don't let other people's perception of your decision or of your boundaries or of you taking your power back get in the way of you doing what you need to do. Because ultimately they might not be able to see you and not be able to see, you know, the truth which you're acting from. And that's okay, because you're doing it in alignment with the highest good of all, and this is really your intuition coming through to tell you to do this. And then on this timeline, I'm actually seeing that you're going to feel a lot less worrying about how other people perceive you, and that's because I feel like you're going to be seeing yourself a lot clearer. And you might also have friends coming in, or a relationship or something around you currently or coming in, that also really sees you and really supports you in your decisions. That's what I'm seeing. So there's something here about, yeah, this timeline, you're going to feel a lot less worried about how other people see you, how other people perceive you, isn't going to feel as much of a concern as I'm seeing it previously has. And I see that you're ending patterns where you might have like self-sacrificed and kind of put other people's needs before you. And with this first house arrival card, it's like, here you are taking up space and kind of doing things for yourself, which is also ultimately doing things that is really for the highest good of all. So yeah, for some reason, this wasp energy kind of wanted to come through in your reading. And Spirit's just reminding you again, independence, healthy boundaries with this wasp energy. Because look, the Page of Swords, there's a whole life to explore outside of this, whatever this energy represents for you in your life. There's a whole like life to explore outside of this. So yeah, Spirit's really inviting you to take that step for the new timeline. And if you already have, then you might be feeling maybe a bit of backlash. And sometimes when there's backlash from people, the wasp kind of people in the world, that can trigger like subconscious shame. That's the other energy that I get from this don't let pride get in your way, is that it could be subconscious shame, like deeply buried shame from childhood kind of feelings is what I'm getting. And sometimes, like I said, that can be triggered if you set a boundary with a toxic person. You know, they can react in a way that can make you feel this kind of deeply sort of subconscious shame. So just remember that Spirit saying, and make sure that you don't kind of succumb to their kind of retaliation energies where they might be kind of devaluing you energetically or something, because the kind of energy that I'm getting. And Spirit saying, remain in this power, strength, because it's available to you, like it actually is available to you. Remain in this power, this strength, and just becoming aware of shame can really help to clear it. Like I've said before on my channel, it's one of the best ways to clear it is to just simply become aware that it's there. And also sometimes we need to speak about it to somebody. So it could be helpful sometimes for you to speak it out loud to somebody, like a friend, like, oh, I'm feeling weird about this, you know, choice I made. And then they'll be like, what are you talking about? This was the best choice you ever made. This has set you free. And then you'll be like, oh yeah, that's right. And you kind of come back to reality again. Okay, group 1, I feel that is the end of your reading now. But yeah, enjoy this new timeline. And if you'd like to check out more of my work, then please see the links in the description box below. Bye. Group 2, you chose this card, Jupiter Abundance, and I really wanted you to see all of the fruit in this card. You see how it's so much fruit? And I'm feeling this sense of health coming through this card today, a sense of health and vitality. You might be starting a different kind of lifestyle with this new timeline. This new timeline is going to see you experiencing a greater sense of health than you ever have, like a sense of abundant health. And I'm also seeing your physical body glow up, like your appearance actually might be changing. Yeah, I think in some way your appearance will change on this timeline. And for some of you, it's actually going to be drastic appearance shifts I'm seeing with this new timeline. So I'm seeing like a glow up in your life. I do feel abundance as well coming in. But I'm getting this very like pleasurable. This is the energy I'm getting. It's something about life being really pleasurable, being able to experience sort of your senses and all of your senses feeling good, like feeling comfortable in your body, feeling comfortable in your skin, feeling confident in yourself, feeling confident in your appearance as well. I'm seeing this. I'm seeing a lot of expansion happening in many areas of life. I kind of see this windfall of blessings or abundance coming in where you're going to be blessed in multiple ways all at once or at one time or during one era. And that's going to be very interesting for you. I also see a fulfillment of wishes coming in. I'm seeing you getting wishes fulfilled, like things that you've worked on. Maybe if you had a specific goal of like how much money you wanted to make or how much, I don't know, it feels like a very specific kind of tangible thing. Like you wanted some kind of version of success or you wanted a specific job or, I don't know, some kind of career or it's something like this. You're going to reach a milestone with that. You're going to reach a level of success with it. But I'm also seeing that with this Jupiter energy, you're actually also going to be reaching a level of worldly success that also makes you look within for deeper meaning, because you're going to be achieving so much outwardly that you're also going to be, I don't know, there's something about some of your goals might actually change. Like you might reach a level of worldly success where all of a sudden it doesn't really, like you might, for example, if someone maybe is really wanting like lots and lots of subscribers on social media for their business or something, and then I'm kind of seeing like them getting it and maybe getting all this money, but then not feeling fulfilled, like not feeling like what they thought that it would be like. So there's a message here about you're going to get so many of your worldly desires fulfilled that it's going to lead you to stop thinking about the worldly things so much and start to really feel, really fine tune kind of your spiritual connection. Like this new timeline, the first part of it is just like blessings upon blessings upon blessings. Like with this card, like you are going to feel really abundant. I see, like I said, I see physical health. I see physical appearance glow up. I see your life looking like it's glowed up, like just had a glow up. I'm seeing you reaching success for some of your goals, like really specific goals in the material world. Like I said, someone getting lots of subscribers, getting lots of money, all of a sudden having kind of internet fame. And then all of a sudden they're feeling kind of this emptiness because they've reached their goals. And so much energy can be focused on just like reaching goals and, you know, trying to achieve. So this is a really interesting energy this time. So it's like you're getting your worldly desires fulfilled to such an extent that you aren't going to be thinking about them anymore. So you might be reaching a new level of abundance where it's like you actually have the money to, I don't know, take time off or like go on a spiritual retreat or like do something really nice and luxurious. Because I'm sort of getting this, with this Jupiter card, I'm getting a luxurious energy, but it's almost like an indulgence energy, but it's an indulgence in a positive way, not in kind of a sinful way or something, like not in a greedy way. It's like indulgence in a way that's still really healthy, like you're doing things that are healthy for you, but you haven't been able to indulge yourself before. Like you haven't had the money, or you haven't had some reason you were held back, like maybe because of your physical health or something like this, or you're just really loving your physical appearance, so you're indulging yourself in lots of different clothes or things that enhance that, and you may not have done that before. So this is new for you. I feel like this new level of indulgence, whether it's like a new energy you're exploring, or it's because you haven't had it available to you before because, like I said, financial restriction or something like this. It's like all of a sudden you have the money. So then it's like, oh my gosh, now I can buy all the things that I've had on my wish list my whole life. But then it's so funny because once you buy them all, you're going to be like, wow, well, this was, you know, not what I thought it was going to be. I have to say, like, you're going to get such an amount of abundance that you're going to start to like look elsewhere. And look, I'm seeing a stable level of abundance that allows you to look elsewhere. Like I'm seeing this stability in this where maybe it's, you know, okay, this is a really specific timeline, but this is your timeline that I'm getting. Okay, this is the timeline you stepped into. So the first part of it is like you get a lot of money. I just saw a purple orb, okay? I just saw a purple orb, okay? It's proof. So the first part of it is that you're going to get a lot of money. And it's about abundance, and it's about material and worldly success. And you're going to get wishes come true, wishes granted. It might be many at once. Well, it will be many at once because I keep feeling this. It's like ding, ding, ding. You get 3 wishes for the price of 1. You get, you know, romance, you get, I don't know, your dream house, and you get your dream job or something. Like all of it comes in all at once, and it's going to feel like a lot. It's going to feel super abundant. But the specific thing here, right, is that you're getting some kind of wish or worldly success granted that's going to elevate your sense of your financial standing, because I'm seeing you buying things. I'm seeing you being like, oh, now I can go buy this thing. And I'm seeing you being a little bit materialistic for a while. I'm seeing you exploring this side of yourself, or like, because Spirit's saying it's about coming back into balance. It's really interesting. It's about coming back into balance with things. So you're just going to be enjoying it. You're going to be enjoying having money, because I just feel like you haven't had it before. You've had it not for a long time or something like this. And it's just, you know, so nice, right? You can really indulge yourself in life. And like, that's what I was saying before, like all of your senses feel nice. So it's like, oh, I have the money to get massages. I have the money to, I don't know, just do nice things for yourself. So it's going to feel really good. But there's going to come a point where it kind of like you wear yourself out. And this timeline that I'm feeling into, like this could be over the next few years or something. Like, I don't know how long this shopping spree is going to last, but it literally feels like the universe is awarding you money. You're going to have some kind of stability with your money. You're going to be able to spend money. So you're going to be going on a shopping spree, an extended shopping spree lasting maybe 6 months or something. And it's just going to be really fun, and you're going to really indulge yourself and really live a different lifestyle. Maybe you're traveling, maybe you're able to live in a way you have not been able to live before. This is the timeline you're in. You have been able to live in a way, like you're going to be able to live in a way you've never been able to live before. It hasn't been accessible to you before. And you're like indulging yourself, but like I said, you're not indulging yourself in a way that's unhealthy, because I still see health being a priority here. I still see your health and your wellness like really also showing in your appearance. Actually, like you're looking really healthy. Maybe you're able to pay for some certain special treatments, or like only eat organic food, right? It's like you're able to pay for some level of health in this new timeline that you weren't able to before. And you're able to pay for some kind of like, I'm seeing maybe you're looking into really specific treatments, really specific health modalities, you know, like really interesting healing medicines, really specific things. I'm seeing you finding them really niche and feeling like, wow, this is miraculous. It's miraculous healing. So you're going to have a lot more money to spend on yourself and on your health. And I think that, like I said, I feel an indulgence energy, but I feel that you're really centered still in your health and your well-being. So anyway, but this indulgence energy, right, it only lasts so long because you almost fulfill all of your desires, like the worldly desires of like wanting money, wanting to possess items and like stuff like this. There's something about it like where for some reason you grow used to it. What do they say? Hedonic adaptation. That's a term that I think is quite an interesting term. Hedonic adaptation. It's like where you adapt to what you have, right? So it's like if you all of a sudden you're super rich, but then you kind of adapt to that energy. It's something like this, okay, where there's an adaptation that happens to your new lifestyle where you start to grow accustomed to it. And so there's this novelty that wears off about it, which makes you have to then look really deep. And the thing is that Jupiter, which is so funny because this is like the most spiritual channel, so I feel like you guys are already really deep, but there is some kind of like, the thing is that we have to look after our physical needs, right? Like a lot of Earth time is often spent looking after our physical needs, like for shelter, you know, for food, all of these kinds of basic things that we need to survive. We need to like make money for the children, like whatever it might be. Like I'm just getting this a lot of like just Earth things. But this next like timeline, this timeline that you've just stepped into, that you've just activated, that's just arrived, you're going to be achieving a level of worldly success that will make you stop thinking about having to achieve a level of worldly success. You're going to achieve something that's stable and that makes you feel like you don't have to achieve and strive in such an intense way. That makes you feel satiated financially, definitely. Like there's something about this financial level up that's going to really change your life and your lifestyle. Like your lifestyle is going to be very blessed, like financially blessed. You're going to be feeling really blessed. But you're going to get to this point though, where you're going to look back to like your life before this manifestation came in. And you're actually going to kind of think, you know, before the manifestation, the energies were like so different. And there's something about this like energy of desire. And you're going to really think about the contrast and being shown you in the future. And you're looking back at your life and you're looking at the contrast between when something manifested and just before it manifested, and how much anticipation and excitement and joy you had like thinking about the thing that would manifest. because it was something to do with like money and success and fame and things like this. And then it manifested, and then you got it, and then it was amazing. Like, I do see you living on a high for a while, and some of you, this shopping spree might last several years. I don't know how long this timeline is going for you, but but there reaches a point where you reach this burnout with it. You reach this burnout with this indulgence energy where you're like, enough, like enough abundance, enough, because there's something about there's something about you suddenly really deepen into a spiritual practice and into a spiritual kind of like layer. And the thing is that I feel like you were super spiritual like before this money comes in, and it's not like you're not spiritual when the money comes in, but it's like you also have to kind of get something out of your system. And Spirit's saying that it's in balance. Like, this is a timeline. There's a reason that, there's a reason your soul's desired these experiences or desired to make money or whatever, to have this abundance. So it's meant to be. It kind of is a balancing out energy. And for some of you guys, this might happen quite quickly where you grow tired of, I don't know, there's something about you stop searching for fulfillment in the external things. Like, it's super funny because this reading is so deep, and I feel like just focusing on, the abundance part of it would be a really fun reading, but Spirit just wants to keep bringing in this deeper message of like, yes, and you will grow tired of this also. It's so interesting. And the thing is that it's going to lead you to a deeper connection to your spirituality. Like, I'm seeing your crown chakra. It's almost like having all of the things that you desire allows you to let go of desire. Like, you're reaching some level of spiritual enlightenment through this experience of actually having all of your needs met all of the time, and having all of the physical needs that you have, like really not having to think about that physical survival layer of earth. Like, I need money, I'm going to pay the bills, I'm going to secure a house, like all of these things that can bring so much fear in our root chakra. I just feel like there's something happening with this timeline. You've just stepped into it. This timeline you're on, this will not be a part of your life anymore. You're not going to have to worry about this. You're not going to spend all of your time thinking about it. And, especially if you've been working a lot, like, you're going to have a lot more free time. Like, I'm seeing riches. So I don't know what you guys have been manifesting, but it's been working, okay? Because I'm seeing riches. And for some of you, this is a breakthrough in your career where you have a lot of notoriety and like kind of fame and fortune kind of energies. If that's appropriate to your career, right? Then it's definitely that with Jupiter. It's like, yes, you're going to be noticed, you're going to be seen, you're going to be where you want to be, right? And it's like, you've been striving for so long. I think that's the other thing. You're going to realize, like, wow, I've strived for so long to have these dreams achieved and all these things. And now you're going to be on the other side of the manifestation. And I'm telling you guys, life is going to look so different on that side. And it's not what you expected. It's amazing. And it's all the beautiful things that Jupiter promises of abundance and expansion and joy and enjoyment and pleasure. And it's all of those things, but it's also all of a sudden deepens your spirituality to the point where all of a sudden those things don't mean that much to you anymore. And you start to like actually kind of separate yourself more from that attachments that we have to, to everything. These attachments we have to money, to food, to, I think there might even be alcohol, right, on this card, like to the things, to those kinds of aspects of life, like the pleasurable sides of life. It's like you're reaching this monk mode, this enlightenment mode where those things just aren't as meaningful to you anymore. They don't call to you. You don't have desire. Like, you're reaching a point of no desire. I don't know how fast this is happening, but this is a timeline you're on. And before this happens, you get to fulfill like all of your desires. It's like a massive feast. Oh, I just hit something. It's like a massive feast. And then at the end of it, you're so satisfied and you're satiated and you're all full and you're like, no, I could not eat another piece of whatever, right? And you're just done. And you're like, I'm done. I'm full up. I'm done. I've finished. But it's so funny because most of your life before this timeline activated, I'm seeing you living just a little bit in that hunger mode, just like you're just a little bit too hungry, like just, oh, not quite enough today, not quite enough, right? It's like I'm just seeing that sense of like, I just haven't had quite enough. like to eat, or not quite enough money, or just quite enough time or resources, whatever it might be. There's been a scarcity that has lurked in the backgrounds. So I'm seeing this like hunger, you haven't been able to satisfy it. Like that's the energy that's going to be so different, is like how you feel when you're not hungry anymore. You know, how does that feel? Like it feels so different. All of a sudden, you know, have you ever had that thing when you're so hungry and all of a sudden like all you can think about is food? Your like survival brain kicks in and you're like, food. And then if you eat and you get full, afterwards, you're really not thinking about food anymore. You know, it's like it's the last thing on your mind. You're like, yeah, I'm not really interested. So that's what you're getting, but on like a hugely grand scale, which is such a cool reading for you, group 2. So you're getting blessings, like I said, in abundance. This is money, success, fortune. For some of you, it's fame. If that's what you're desiring, it's fame, notoriety. Did I mention money? This is abundance in life, right? Really feeling abundant and so expanded, like having enough money to travel, to expand. So you're kind of getting this massive feast. And then you're going to reach a point where you're full and you get up from the table and you're like, yeah, I've had enough. I've feasted enough. And that feast is going to be so satisfying. Like, I really don't want to undermine the feast, okay, part of your timeline, because that feast is going to be like the best feast of your life because you've been hungry your whole life. So it's like, imagine being hungry your whole life and then finally getting to eat enough food for the first time. It's like, oh my God, it feels so good. And you just want to have that feeling over and over and over again. And then you're like, oh, you know, yeah, okay, I can have this feeling anytime I want. So it's not that special to me anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like, I always can have it. So, you know, it was more special to me before I had it because I couldn't access it. So I wanted to spend all my time and, you know, resources trying to get it. So then it's like, now you have it. So what do you do? So this is the point where now you reach this new level of like enlightenment, where you're able, like I said, to kind of detach from earthly desires. And I see this crown chakra activation where you're going to have almost like enlightenment energy. So let's pull a couple more cards for you, group 2, for this new timeline that you just stepped into. We have Pallas Athena, Think. And we have Trine Sextile, Symbiosis. So interesting. So with the Trine Sextile Symbiosis, this timeline you just stepped into is such a blessing, group 2. Like, do you know how much of a blessing it is? I mean, I'm pretty sure you probably caught on by the way I've been describing it, but this is a blessing. Like, this is your wishes coming true. Like, if you've had this one dream, I just want this thing, you know, you're going to get it. You're going to get the thing that you want. This is the timeline. This is it. Like, you just activated, you just stepped into something. This is your timeline where your dreams manifest. This is it. So the funny thing about it, though, is that on the other side of your dreams manifesting, it's like almost like you have this whole other mission revealed to you, where like so much of your life was getting to this point where something's about to manifest. It's really big. Like I said, it involves money or notoriety or something like this. And then everything changes. With this Pallas Athena Think card, it's like your perspective of life completely shifts. And the way that you think about life, the way that you think about, like, Spirit's saying that so much of your life has been about manifesting this dream or manifesting a certain level of money or success, right? So that you can kind of breathe out, so that you can kind of take some time to just like breathe out. And I feel like you've had to put so many things on the back burner of life in order to make these dreams come true. And then all of a sudden now you have all of this time to spend on like what is really important to you. And all of a sudden you start to think and you're like, what is truly the most important thing for me? Like, because Jupiter is a deep energy, even though it talks about worldly abundance, like, and like I said, indulgence and pleasure and things like this, it's also deeply philosophical and centered on truth. Like Jupiter searches for the truth. So I feel like there's going to be this deeply philosophical energy that comes from after this feast. This feast. And maybe some of you, it's like the feast is you feasting on your success in your career. Like if you've been working so hard in your career and then you finally have this massive breakthrough where you have all the success that you've been looking for and all the ways that you want that to look like. And then you get it and you soak it all in and you feast on it and it's amazing and it's the best thing ever. And then what? Did you ever think about this part? Spirit's saying maybe you never thought about this part, because it was always about the success. It was always about, reaching that point where it's like, I made it, And then what about once you make it? What happens then? So this is the timeline where you get to find that out. You get to really find that out, and you get to really find out what is deeply important to you. Like, what is really your priority in life? What is, like, it's going to get really deep, okay? You're going to get super deep, super philosophical, and super centered and clear about how you want to live life and what impact you want your life to be. Yeah, so this is the thing. You're going to get a next phase of your mission revealed to you, and it's going to be something, like I said, that for some reason was really maybe in the back burner of your life, or it just wasn't as much in the focus because you're just focusing so much on like survival things, like I need money, I need to get through, or sorry, I keep hitting the light here, or I need to, I don't know, it was very survival things like money, food, housing, things like this. Maybe children, raising children. Maybe for some of you, this is your children leaving home, and so you have this whole new life revealed to you. So yeah, there seems to be this really, really intense new era coming in. And yeah, it's going to get really deep. It's going to get really deep for you. You're going to really think about, you're going to really want to answer life's deepest questions. And you're going to feel like you have actually the time to even consider life's deepest questions. Because if we're just living for survival and we're in kind of survival mode, which I feel like you have been for quite some time, we don't have as much time to contemplate life's deepest questions. Like we might want to, but it might not always, our nervous system can only handle so much, right? When we contemplate in this deeply philosophical way, we usually associate it with calm and restfulness and groundedness and peacefulness and quiet and solitude and, I don't know, there's almost a predictability or something. Whereas I feel like your life before then has had a lot of chaos and a lot of things just unfolding, and like I said, you've been working really hard. I feel like you've worked so hard, spiritually acknowledging that, and you're going to feel really good on this time. Like you're going to feel like, yeah, I got rewarded for my job well done. Like you're going to feel like, oh, finally finally I get rewarded for all the work I've done. But in this success, like I said, it's going to change you. The success will change you because you're going to realize like you're a different person now. You have it changes you deeply. And I don't know, there's something, I keep being shown you in the future with this success, and you're looking back on yourself before this manifested, and you're thinking about how you viewed things and how you thought about life kind of thing. And you're thinking like, gosh, like I was so innocent or something. Like there's some kind of purity about before this manifestation comes in. You're going to see it as like a purity or an innocent time. Like even though I think that you went through a lot of things and it was actually really hard and you had to kind of grapple with a lot of stuff, there was still a purity in the dream, in the desire, and in the way that you kind of visualized what was going to come, and the magic and the excitement of, wanting it. You're going to feel like, wow, that's really special. And I think as well when, like I said, you kind of step away from the feast table symbolically, and you realize that the worldly feast that you're having of like all of this, spending all this money and doing all these things, like it's not as exciting as it used to be. It doesn't feel as rewarding. It feels like, I don't know, just a new level is reached. I think that your mission is going to be revealed to you, and you're going to feel like you almost have a totally different mission. Like it's almost surprising to you. Like there might be, because I feel almost a seriousness to your mission, because I see you looking back. The funny thing is that I almost see you looking back at the time before you had this manifestation coming in and thinking, gosh, I was so pure, I was so innocent, or life was so simple or something. Because I don't know, it's like now you're so rich, you have all this responsibility or something. Or like now you reach this level of success, like now your mission gets to start. You know, there's something about now it's time to get to business. And it might feel kind of serious with this Pallas Athena. There might be a lot of strategy, a lot of, I don't know, like something about your mission really starts to change after this point. And like Spirit's saying that you're going to get a period of just indulgence and like living life, and it's going to really help balance you out after you've had to work really hard and sacrifice a lot. Like you are definitely going to be feeling some of the best feelings that you can feel on planet Earth. Like I really don't want to have to downplay or minimize or something. I don't mean to minimize the blessings part of this timeline. Like I said, where you suddenly become so successful, so famous, so rich, so abundant, and you're like, well, this is so good. You're really going to be loving it. Like, trust me, it's going to be amazing. However long it lasts, it will be the best thing ever. But it won't last forever. So just keep that in mind while you're experiencing it and enjoy it even more. Because yeah, there will be a point where something changes, something shifts, and then all of a sudden you change timelines again almost. Although I do feel like it's part of this timeline because it's kind of the other side. It's the other side, and it's a deepening of your wisdom, and it's a deepening of your spiritual mission as well. Yeah, it's definitely a deepening of your spiritual mission. All right, let's pull just a couple of cards as advice for this new timeline for you, Group 2. Advice for Group 2's new timeline, Spirit. We have conclusions are within reach. Yeah, I feel like for many of you just stepped into this timeline. So this abundance blessings is not very far off, okay? Yeah, look. The energy is gaining momentum. Some of you might find this reading unbelievable, but I'm telling you, that's what I'm feeling. It's so clear. Confidence is your key to success. Interesting. Look at this. Prosperity lies ahead, and be bold and make the first move. Yeah, so this money, it does lie ahead. There is something about you are going to need to step into this timeline. You're going to need to make some kind of a decision to step into this timeline, and it's coming soon or it's already come. And maybe you had to make some kind of bold move that took a lot of confidence to activate this, but you either just have activated or you're about to activate it. And it's definitely a timeline worth activating. This is your destiny timeline. There is something about it that's probably unavoidable. Like there's something destiny here with the energy is gaining momentum and conclusions are within reach. Full moon eclipse, like it feels like it's destiny. This is a destiny path. Like I don't feel like you're going to be able to miss out on this timeline. Like there's no thing that you could do that would make you miss out on it or anything like that, because it's 100% your destiny. Like you are experiencing this. The energy is gaining momentum. Conclusions are within reach. Maybe some of you, like I said, aren't believing this or something like that. But confidence is your key to success. You might need to be confident and kind of believe in yourself and make some kind of a bold decision with be bold and make the first move. You might need to make some kind of bold decision to step out, to take a leap of faith, or to follow your heart in some way, because it's so worth it and it's going to lead to incredible things. Or it might be that you need to make the first move. I just realized, be bold and make the first move. It might be something that you're making the first move on, like once you release your new music album, then all of this notoriety comes in, right? But this timeline can't be activated until you release it out into the world. So there's something here about Spirit really encouraging you to be bold, make the first move, to be confident in your ability to succeed. Some of you might be projecting the past onto the future and thinking, oh my God, I'm not going to succeed. It's just going to be like the past where I failed so many times. And Spirit's saying, hey, you just stepped into a new timeline. This one's different, okay? So enjoy. What an incredible reading, Group 2. I so enjoyed tuning in for you today. And if you would like to check out more of my work, then please see my links in the description box below. Take care. Hello, Group 3. So you chose Ascendant Entrance. So I feel like you're going to feel like a completely new person in your timeline that you just stepped into, and that people in your life around you are going to think that you are a completely new person, or they're going to be experiencing like such a renewal in their relationship with you that it feels almost like you've just stepped into their life. And if you're in a relationship, I'm seeing you might be like falling in love again. I'm seeing a falling in love energy around you. So this timeline, it might be the timeline you fall in love, or if you're in an existing relationship, I feel like you're going to fall in love again. There's some kind of renewal energy in your relationships, and I feel really strongly where love is able to bloom in your life in such a exciting way. I feel it's really, really positive. So I feel like as well, Spirit's been giving you messages about this timeline. Spirit's been showing you that this timeline is coming in, or you've been getting hints or synchronicities or signs or symbols or, you know, angel numbers repeating. Spirit's been telling you, Spirit's been wanting you to know, but I feel like that things in the past have been really heavy, that there might have been a sense of not feeling like you trust that this new timeline is coming in for you, or that it's there for you, or something like this. Because yeah, I do feel like there might be some kind of fears or something from the past. Let's pull cards on this, Spirit. What do you want to say about this new timeline? Yeah, it's almost like you've been flying next to this timeline. Spirit's been trying to get your attention about it. Oh, look at that. Resources as well. Let's pull a couple more. I think we can fit them in this new timeline. Oh, we got descendant and ascendant. Okay, let me just fix the energy from the past that I was picking up seems to be some kind of energy that was obscuring this timeline from your view. And now that this timeline has activated and you've stepped into it, you're going to realize something like that this timeline was actually always available to you, or it was available to you for longer than you realized, because I'm seeing you kind of flying alongside, like in alliance, in conjunction, like you were next to this timeline, almost parallel to it, but you weren't seeing, like you had blinders on, you weren't able to see that this timeline was parallel to you the whole time, and that you were actually able to move into it kind of earlier than you thought. So there's something about this timeline that is going to reveal to you things that were in your shadow that's actually really positive. Like I feel that this timeline is going to be a positive shadow experience. Like you're going to see things about yourself that you're going to realize, you know, were always true about yourself, but for some reason you weren't able to see it, or it's good things that are kind of returning to you. Like I see as well with this card that your self-worth is so good on this new timeline. Like your sense of self-worth, your sense of really trusting in yourself. And of course, with that pile of money there, look at that pile of money, that pile of gold. Yeah, I feel like there's something here with the apple. You're hitting some kind of bullseye. See how it's like the arrow's gone right through the apple? I'm seeing it's like you hit the center, you hit the bullseye. Like there's something about you getting money right that you're going to feel like, oh, finally I reached this balancing point. You're not feeling like you're juggling money so much in this new timeline. Like money is going to feel more like centered and accessible and balanced, and yeah, like something I'm hearing, you hit the bullseye. Like that's how you're gonna feel in some kind of success or some kind of way that you're receiving money. It's gonna feel really good. There could even be passive income energy here in this timeline. I'm feeling there's something about that money resources card. I'm feeling like it could be passive. It could be somehow figuring out, I don't know, getting income from like renting out a property or something. It's like it's coming in, but you don't really have to do anything. So it's like sort of passive income. With the descendant invitation card, there's also again a message here about your relationships really strongly in this new timeline. Like your relationships are going through a renewal, a sense of renewal. You might have, like I said, new love coming in, and it could come in out of the blue. But it's going to be a much higher level love than you've had, because your self-worth is better than it's ever been. So for those of you who are already partnered in relationship that's committed, this is a renewal in your partnership where I feel like you're going to be feeling like you're falling in love again, going through a second honeymoon phase together, which is really nice, isn't it? And also I feel like Spirit's saying that partly this is coming from this new sense of self-worth that you are fostering within yourself. Like it's changing the way that other people show up in relationship with you, the way that the world around you reacts to your energy. You're going to really notice this in this new timeline. You're going to really feel the sense of like, oh, wow, yeah, I'm really showing up differently, and the world therefore is responding differently. Like you're going to really feel a tangible sense of difference. And like I said, you're going to realize somehow that this was always available to you, or that you were always worth this much, you were always this valuable, you were always this lovable. But for some reason you couldn't see it before. So I'm seeing a lot of blind spots to do with your self-worth, just like leaving you, and you being able to really see your self-worth, and also maybe having to put an end to things that you were in denial about, if you did have blind spots about, like if there were any unhealthy dynamics that were being kept alive by this blind spot around your self-worth, where maybe you were devaluing yourself at work or something, or overgiving, or I don't know, not charging enough for your work. I see this being resolved, and this again allowing you to receive more abundance, like your self-worth. You're patching up any like holes in your self-worth, and then that's in turn is patching up any holes in your money pocket, you know, like where you're actually able to bring in far more abundance and money. So I feel like the biggest change you're going to feel from this timeline that's activated is your ability to perceive truth. All of a sudden your perception is going to be expanded. With this 9th house, I'm seeing expansion, like your perception of your life and of yourself, your self-image suddenly becomes more aligned with your true self. And you're going to be feeling more like your true self. You're going to be feeling more in alignment with sort of your innate soul blueprint. So that's going to feel really good. There's an authenticity and alignment that I'm feeling from your energy. But I do feel this sense of self-love and self-respect, and like I said, self-worth with the money resources card. But I'm getting this really strong sense of you being able to perceive the truth that you're going to realize was always there, or was always true about yourself. Like you were always this lovable, you were always this capable, you were always this able to have this life. So I think that's going to be really interesting for you on this timeline, is your perception, and how this is going to really make you feel very like philosophical with the 9th house. It's going to make you think really deeply, and it's going to change almost like your internal beliefs. It's going to change your perception of life, because you're going to realize that you were walking alongside something with this card. You were walking alongside it. You were in parallel to this timeline all along, but something was stopping you from reaching out. You know, some aspect of you like not feeling like you were worth it, or I don't know, holding yourself back, or not seeing yourself clearly, not seeing how incredible you are. That's the theme. It's like this timeline, you're going to be seeing how incredible you are, and you're going to be thinking, wait, I was always this incredible, or I was always capable of making this much money or being this successful. So there was some kind of limitation like from your past that was holding you back, and it wasn't allowing you to see yourself clearly, or this possibility. And so now you're going to be embodying this new timeline. You're going to be embodying this new life, this new thing that's now available to you. And so yeah, it's going to be changing your perception. You're going to be really understanding about how our perception shapes reality. This is going to be, you're going to get a lot of downloads like spiritually about perception and how our perception changes based on like so many different factors. And you're going to really be thinking about truth. Like I think this new timeline is going to make you have this almost like a hunger for the truth. You're going to want to search for ultimate truth, for objective truth, because you're going to realize that your perception was in shadow, like your perception was clouded by you not seeing yourself clearly. So you having this experience of having your perception so radically changed and shifted, where all of a sudden you see the truth about yourself and you see yourself clearly, you're going to be like, wow, what else wasn't I seeing clearly, and why? Like, what else is in my blind spot? You're going to be like so wanting to uncover every single blind spot that you might have. And also I feel like it might become something of your life's work almost to help other people improve their self-image and make sure that there aren't opportunities like occurring adjacent to them that they haven't gone for because they don't feel like they're good enough or something like this. The other thing again is your relationships coming through, where they are going to be better. Like your relationships in this new timeline are going to be markedly better. You're going to be appreciating that fact. You're going to be feeling a lot more loved up and like loved on, especially if that's been something that hasn't been present in your life lately. Like that feeling of just really being loved and loved on, like you're going to get loved on, and someone's really going to be celebrating you. And again, that's going to really help to kind of shift your perception of yourself as well. All right, so let's pull some more cards, shall we? This new timeline for group 3, Spirit, what would you like them to know? The Goblin, the wounded human ego. Interesting. And partnership. That's what I was thinking, hey? So there definitely is a partnership coming in. Let me just pull some clarifiers with tarot here. So we have the Wheel of Fortune. So the wheel finally changes in this new timeline. You know, the Goblin energy, I feel like, is actually, I I don't know, there's a part of you, this goblin energy, there's a part of you that didn't think that this would ever come to be. Like for some of you who might be single, you might have thought, am I ever going to find a partner? Is this partnership that I dream of ever actually going to come in? Or for others of you who are, you know, not single, it's something like not feeling like the wheel will turn in your favor. And that's the wounded human ego energy inside that kind of thinks everything's always going to be bad, and it's kind of, you know, feeling like perpetual kind of victim to life and throwing a tantrum to spirit kind of energy. So there's something about this energy is going to be resolved, and you're going to, like I said, have a really different perspective on it and be like, wait a minute, this whole time there was more actually in my control than I realized. And that's going to really change your mind and your, like, it's going to change your subconscious mind though as well. Like I said, this is a deep clearing and healing where your self-image is changed and more in alignment with your true self, and you're seeing your true innate divine soul blueprint like coming out and expressing itself to the world. And from this place of you feeling so much power and feeling so empowered, it's almost like you're going to see the wounded part of you so clearly and see how it was only yourself in a way that was holding yourself back from this. Like there's going to be some really intense realization. My throat chakra's going. You're going to realize something like you were flying alongside this timeline for so long, but you yourself were holding yourself back by, like, I don't know, some kind of wounding or something like this. And it's going to really shift your mindset, and you're going to be feeling like so much more empowered and kind of this sense of just taking responsibility for life. And, you know, you may or may not resonate with this at this point, but it is what's going to happen. Like you are going to have this real shift where you suddenly realize that so much more is in your control, and you're going to actually see it. Because the thing is, when we have blind spots, is that they obviously, to be a blind spot, they necessarily have to hide something, so they're not something that we can see, right? So this is the thing, is like, it wasn't like you were doing this on purpose, but because it was a blind spot, you weren't seeing some kind of action that you could take to like free yourself or to manifest something, or you weren't seeing your true self-worth or your true capability of something. You were underestimating yourself maybe. So I do see this really interesting energy with the goblin where you're going to be like, whoa, like the wheel just turned in my favor and now something's different. And it's going to throw you into this sense of, I don't know, being able to see your own power in such a different way, being able to see your own power, like you're going to really be standing in your power and really thinking, what else am I not seeing? Like you're going to really want to understand blind spots in this perception thing. And like I said, it might become something that you actually share with others, or you're going to have a real way of articulating it because it's your own experience, where you're going to really, I don't know, like pass on this as an activation to others through actually just talking about it with people and letting them know like what your experience has been. Bringing this adventure, this curiosity, this open-mindedness, and this sense of like living life as an adventure. Like you're traveling, even if you're in your own hometown, you can still bring that energy. But yeah, for a lot of you, it will actually be travel. And it could be even long-term travel, like I said, overseas travel, because the ninth house actually, it does talk about overseas travel and going on trips and kind of expanding our mind and our consciousness through getting different perspectives from different cultures. You know, we see ourselves differently when we're in different parts of the world. It activates different things for us. Yeah, even astrocartography I'm getting could be something that you might want to actually check out in this next timeline, especially if some of you are feeling like you might be called to move somewhere or to relocate. I'm seeing using astrocartography or looking into kind of really meditating on different parts of the world and how that energy would work with you. But basically with astrocartography, it's like your birth chart mapped out across the world, so you can kind of see different lines that you have that correspond to different planets or different things. And it really is very insightful. So you can see like the energy you were born into, kind of your karmic energy signature of the place you were born into. But you can also see different places that you've lived, like what was the energy like, like a Mars line might be very active, or a Saturn line can be a lot of hard work and things take heaps of time, or a Venus line can be really pleasurable and indulgent. It's like that kind of thing. But yeah, it can go really deep. That was like a very superficial kind of explanation. Anyway, for some reason I'm feeling like you might want to look into astrocartography or even get like a reading done to kind of find out, like, maybe if you're thinking of locating like where would be the best place, or if you just have an intuition of like, yeah, I really feel drawn to go here or to go here or maybe here. Spirit's saying like really meditate in and really like feel into the energies of these places, because you can do it remotely, you know, yourself. Feel into the energy of these places to consider like, how would your energy blend here? How would you experience yourself like in this place in the world? What would it be like? Because there's something here about, yeah, relocating could really, really serve you, or traveling into a place that you feel called to it's going to bring some kind of activation. If you feel called to go somewhere, to go on a trip, to go adventuring, to go exploring, it's because it's going to bring some kind of, yeah, exploration. Like, you are going to feel like you want to explore, like you're going to be ready for I just realized it said exploration again. You're going to be ready for adventure. Like, you're going to be kind of not being able to be held back, actually. Like, you're not going to hold yourself back anymore. No one else is going to be able to hold you back. You're just going to go for it and go into this exploratory kind of mode. A lot of creative energy coming with this new timeline as well. Like, I'm seeing a lot of new creative projects. Like, I'm seeing a lot of new things, and even if something is existing, it's going to get a totally new makeover and get this new sense of renewal where it's like tied with a new bow somehow, and it looks kind of different, or it feels different somehow. So I feel like with this 9th house, I don't know, I keep being drawn into this 9th house. I feel like you might actually meet people while you're exploring or while you're on these adventures. Yeah, I could see you meeting new people and fostering a sense of adventure with them as well, and really enjoying that, and kind of maybe traveling together as well. I could see that really strongly. I do see a lifestyle change kind of needed with this timeline. Like, you might, when this timeline, now that it's here, you're going to start to slowly realize that things need to change because the energy is different and it's requiring different things of you. Or you might suddenly have this deep calling to like go and live in van life and do that for a while, or like become a nomadic traveler, or I don't know, relocate to another part of the world or to another part of the country, or I don't know, there's just going to be this part in you that all of a sudden is like, oh, I need to change. And it's going to kind of dawn on you slowly, but then it's going to become extremely crystal clear. And this change is going to feel like so good for your soul. Like, you're going to be so ready for it, and it's going to be really clear about exactly how you're wanting it. And with that resources 2nd house card, you know, it does make me think again of passive income for some reason, where I feel like Spirit's saying that on this timeline, like, you can support kind of a different lifestyle. Like, you can support kind of a passive income, I guess, lifestyle somehow. Like, Spirit's kind of encouraging you to think of this and to consider, you know, or becoming, what do they call, like a digital nomad, like that kind of thing, where you can have a location independent job and be able to travel around or relocate to another part of the world. I feel like your soul is requiring some kind of movement, travel, exploration, adventure. And some of you are going to be able to find it kind of in your local area, but for a lot of you, you're going to be called even bigger than that. You're going to be called bigger than that, and you're going to be like, you know what, I need to do it. And I feel that it's going to be so good for you, and you're going to kind of, a lot of this timeline I'm seeing now is you exploring this new area. Like, I see you're just going to explore. Like, you want to explore this new area you just moved to, or this, you want to explore places as you travel. And something about this exploration energy is going to deeply, deeply activate you in life. Like, it's going to provide a lot of activation that I'm hearing you didn't realize that you needed until you got it. You didn't realize you needed it until you got it. And I'm hearing now soul retrieval, like, you know, the shamanic term of soul retrieval, where we can have like different parts of our soul even like split off from us and existing. I'm seeing past lives on earth, like you're reclaiming, you're doing some kind of soul retrieval through this sense of needing to move or have adventure or relocate or travel or explore the world in some way. Like, you're actually doing soul retrieval. You might be recovering past lives or re-stepping like the same steps you stepped in past lives and having like a deep subconscious sort of soul level activation. Some parts of you are coming home to yourself through this travel, this exploration, this adventure, this movement, this relocation. It's coming home to you, it's activating you, and it's bringing you into a deeper sense of wholeness. And you're going to feel more of your power available to you than ever before on this timeline because of this soul retrieval in particular. Specifically, I'm seeing returning these soul fragments to you and resolving maybe past life trauma is what I'm seeing this timeline. So you might be called, like I said, to different parts of the world for different reasons because of this. And some of it might be really clear downloads, like, oh, this past life in this place I need to go. But for some of you, like, it's just going to be a very natural process that kind of just happens without you really thinking about it, because you're just being subconsciously guided by the angels and everything's falling into divine order in an effortless kind of way. So either way, I'm seeing that you're going to be really supported to travel. And if that, Spirit's saying also to think about, like, what is it that you really want? Maybe you've been really wanting to travel for a long time, or to do van life or something like this, to change your lifestyle or something. Spirit's saying to go for it, because you're going to have the money, like, you're going to be supported financially to do this if it's something that feels important to you. But yeah, I just feel like Spirit's kind of saying there's this new timeline is here, like, it's available. So start to maybe dream and visualize, like, how would you want this? Like, what's the perfect way that it would be for you? Because yeah, you are going to be called to, like, change and to get out of any kind of stagnancy or routine. You're not going to be able to continue that in this timeline. Like, there's a deep sense of renewal, like I said, in every single way. But like I said, the relationships feel very renewing. But in a way, you're renewing from the inside out, and stagnant energies is going and it's being cleared out, it's being cleansed and cleared. And so you have this new kind of timeline and path, like I said. So Spirit's kind of saying, well, what would you like it to look like? Because I feel like there might have even, because there's been such a stagnant energy for such a long time, there might have even been this pause on dreaming in your energy field, where you might have kind of stopped dreaming or stopped thinking that you're manifesting something because things have been, like I said, stagnant or the same, or you felt stuck. But Spirit's saying, keep dreaming, keep visualizing what it is that you would like, what it is that you're wanting things, how you're wanting things to manifest. And I feel that Spirit is acknowledging that, you want to feel financially supported to make these dreams real. But Spirit's also saying you also have to design your life. Like, Spirit's saying, you can be the architect of this timeline. Like, Spirit really wants you to know that you can be the architect of this timeline, and make sure that you design it in a way that supports who you are. Like, if you need to move into a time where you want to be like a digital nomad, then make sure that you don't take a job in an office, right, in the middle of the city, and then get stuck in a lease that you don't really want to be in a house, and then feel like you're just entering into another cycle of the same. Like, I don't think you're going to do that though. I think that your energy, like I said, is going to crave adventure so much that you're just going to be like, you know what, I'm just going to take a leap of faith. I'm just going to try. I think that the fear of failure is going to be kind of just taken over by this sense of adventure. You're just going to be like, I'm just going to do it. And you just can't face, like, signing a lease for another house or whatever it might be that keeps you kind of stuck in a certain place. Like, you're just going to feel something about this need for freedom, this need for change, this need for expansion and adventure, and it's going to just take you over in some way. Like, apply it to your own life and how this might look, or it might be a surprise you might not realize yet. But yeah, it's going to come on, like I said, slowly at first, but then all of a sudden it's going to become this crystal clear urge to change, and you're going to know exactly how you need to change. And things are going to come in, like the perfect remote job will come in at the perfect time to help you on this timeline. Like, Spirit wants you to know that you are the architect of this timeline, and that you can have things come in to support you with that second house resources. Like, you are going to be supported in what you are wanting to manifest. All right, group 3, that is the end of your reading. Well, I do hope it served you today. And if you would like to check out more of my work, then please see the links in the description box below.